Hey everybody, happy 10 o'clock. Today is our virtual tour at Second Chances Wildlife Center. And before we begin our tour, I have a couple important things to tell you guys. Number one, we are licensed through the federal government and our state government. Federal Fish and Wildlife for birds, although we try to stick with just the mammals, we do keep up with our federal license just in case of emergencies. We are licensed through Kentucky Fish and Wildlife for all of our rehab animals and our animals that stay with us forever that we provide sanctuary for. Those are our educational ambassadors. They are licensed under the USDA. So just in case you're not that familiar with rehab centers, people cannot just think a bunny is cute or a squirrel baby that might need help. It is illegal for you to bring them into your home, even to take care of them for a day or two. So we are here for you guys. There's other rehabbers in all of these states in the U.S. And beyond. So we're fairly easy to find if you go to your state Department of Natural Resources or Fish and Wildlife or your equivalency, you can find licensed rehabbers. So now that we have that out of the way, let's see what's going on at the center today. I'm actually kind of out of breath because I've been cleaning. I see a mysterious person that has pulled up. Oh, you know what? He's going to be working on building a carport for our mower. Oh, okay. We were just wondering who is showing up at our center that we did not know about coming at our center. Okay, all right, so I'm going to turn this around because I know y'all don't want to just look at me today. Y'all want to see some cute animals, so let me figure out how to do that. Okay, all right, so this area that we're in right now our whole place looks homey because it was a previous home. We acquired this property 4 years ago. It was on foreclosure and we managed to get our little grabby hands on it because we are in desperate need for more space that people can come for education programs and just expanding our work a little bit. So this space right now used to be, well still is, a kitchen area, and I guess somebody used it for, there's Sarah and Sarah. We'll go see who Sarah's feeding in just a minute. But this area we spend a lot of time in. This is considered our baby nursery. So we like to put skunks in here. We do not like any caging for skunks that have any type of bars on them that they can get their little feet caught. Sometimes they go in here. It just kind of depends on what species are coming in at what time. This half of the room over here, we tend to put a lot of our opossums. Over on this side of the room, we tend to put a lot of squirrels. We like to separate species by species. And as we walk down the hall in just a little bit, you will see that the raccoons get their very own room. We call that the party room because they're very, very loud. So if you guys follow us on Facebook, you know that we have a mom right now with her babies. I'm going to bring down my voice just a little bit. Hey, babies. We might take a second trip up here to see if we can see her babies later, but I'm not going to move her around at the moment so y'all can see. But if y'all scroll down a few posts, you do have a chance to see her babies. She just doesn't want to show them to you this morning, so we're not going to make her. All these cages will be full in just a few weeks. Here's another mom. We haven't quite got to her yet for cleaning. We start very early, but the teeny tiny babies come first because they are on a very, very rigid schedule. If somebody's off 15 minutes, half hour for the first feeding, that means the rest of the day is off. So it's very, very critical that these guys get fed on time so they can get their nutrients, and it keeps their metabolism nice and steady. One of these squirrels just came in about 10 minutes ago, so he's kind of wondering what the last 24 hours have been like. He's a little bit nervous. This is a single squirrel that came in, and over here we have another little single squirrel. So we have what we refer to as a little howdy door here. So we can slide this out. Right now they can see each other, they can smell each other. They know they're not alone in this world, but they're not gonna bug each other yet. So they'll get acquainted. They'll become friends through there, and then we'll open this up, and then they'll be together. So we're introducing, it's kind of like a blended family, if you will. Here's another one. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time here because this guy really is healing. By the way, this is a good time for me to tell you why we don't offer a lot of tours here. We do offer them periodically. We do offer them, but with small number of people. We never have a tour over 8 people, and we never come right up to these cages on the tour because these animals are healing. We are not a zoo by any means. I would say we're closer to a veterinarian clinic than a zoo. These animals come to us because they need time to heal. We don't want to stress them with people coming around them all the time. The other reason is we want all of these animals to stay as wild as possible. When our animals are returned to the wild, we don't want to ring in people's doorknobs. LT, are you ready for breakfast? LT is a little bit different. LT just got booted from the quarantine room because we had a fox pup arrive yesterday, and that would have been very stressful for LT to have a fox sharing in the same room. So LT's up here. LT will stay with us forever. He has some significant neurological damage, and he is just way off balance. Who needs breakfast? Can anybody get him a little treat? Do we have a treat for him? Kale, anything? Our treats might not be the same as your treats. I personally would like a Twix candy bar this morning, but his treat is going to be kale. That's kind of like his Twix candy bar. LT. Yeah, get it over there. Good job. There, him's is. Oh, he wants that Twix candy bar. Groundhogs don't eat chocolate. No, nope. He would rather have a carrot. He's like, come on, y'all. Give me something better than kale. Okay, I'm going to shut this door now. You can see he has some fur loss here. There was a few-day time span where I wasn't even sure this guy was going to make it. He was on fluids around the clock, really around the clock. He spent a few days at my house so he could get fluids at the 3 a.m. and I could just keep 24/7 observation on him. So he's greatly improved since he's been under our care. So we're glad to have him. LT is short for lieutenant, so we do have major and lieutenant. Major, of course, is in charge. He outranks lieutenant. Over here, look at this little guy. This little guy's like, where is my, look, I saw my reflection in there. It was kind of creepy. So all of our incubators are full. We have, let's see, 6 big incubators, and then we have these little travel incubators, which are great. So our big incubators filled up so fast that we had to break out our travel incubator. But these are great because if we're transporting them to and from one place, we can just plug this into the car outlet, which is brilliant. So we're glad for that. We have a slider over here with some shell damage. He's not in water because his shell is healing right now, but eventually he'll get to some water. I expect him to make an absolute full recovery. So I don't know if you all had followed us from the time some squirrels came in, teeny tiny. They came in just 20 grams. These are those squirrels. Look at them now. They actually look like squirrels. When they came in as little pinkies, you could hardly even see that they were squirrels. Hello. These guys just were out of the incubator as of, maybe last week. These guys also, they're sound asleep under there, but we have a couple squirrels under their blanket right now. Sometimes it's just like a roller coaster ride. Who's going to be where at one spot? So we had to put the teeny tinies in the incubator, so the other ones got booted. But they had graduated, so it's okay. So in this incubator, let's see here if I can get one of these guys out. Look how tiny these opossums are. We have lots of little babies. These babies were rescued from mom's pouch. Look how helpless these little guys are. So teeny and tiny. They couldn't help. Mom was attacked by a dog. We have another group of opossums up here that were hit by cars. I think they're in this one. They are. They're just a tiny bit bigger. There they are. Hello, babies. Their eyes still are not even open. You see that they have pink ears right now. Their ears will eventually turn solid black. So out in the wild, if you see opossums, they might look a little bit different than these because their ears have already turned. And he is just comfortable. He's just gonna go to sleep right in my hand here. Oh, Sarah is still feeding. Okay, so what do we have in here? Some more opossums. Oh no, these aren't opossums. We might see these guys eat later. We have a couple raccoons in here. Let me get the raccoon out. There are the raccoons. We marked him with a green dot so we can tell them apart from the others. Okay, get back in there. Get back in there, get cozy. It's not time to eat. Remember when I just said how loud the raccoons get? That's why they have their own separate room. Okay, let's see what's going over here. A lot of our day is spent chopping vegetables and preparing diets. All these bowls will be full here in just a minute. Sometimes we feel like chefs and waitresses, not necessarily, she's like, yes, we do. Not necessarily rehabbers, but it's very, very important that they get a special diet. And they eat very, very well. I'm gonna have to say they probably eat healthier than I do. And this is our other Sarah here, feeding one of our squirrel babies. These little squirrels are just starting to eat some solid food as well as getting baby formula. So that's why they're chewing here instead of just suckling on the syringe and the nipple that's made just for squirrels, believe it or not. It's really important that we control the speed of the formula that's coming out. This is a good point to make. Just in case you're jumping on this live video and you were not here at the beginning, it is illegal for you to do what Sarah is doing right now unless you have a permit to do so. Even if they're so cute, the right thing to do is get it to a licensed rehabilitator no matter where you are. We're easy to find. You can get on your DNR or Fish and Wildlife website to always find people near you. This formula that is being fed to the squirrel is special squirrel milk. It is not the milk that you and I drink. Wildlife cannot absorb the good nutrients in there. We'll get them to eat. It is actually more damaging than good. So if ever you find an animal, please don't feed it. Just call a rehabber right away. Okay, you might hear me say that a time or 10 more. It is just very important. So over here, this is how we keep track of who is getting fed at what time. So all of these charts are animals that are being hand-fed. It's not the ones that are getting, that Sarah's over here prepping the food. Those don't get a chart, they get a different type of card. But these charts say how much they're supposed to eat, what time they're supposed to eat, what they're eating, how much. Everything's on there. It's all our cages and incubators have numbers, so all these align with the numbers on there. We have to keep things extremely organized here. These yellow charts over here, those are medical charts, so they're easy to spot the difference in case our animals need medicines. It's important that we don't overlook those, so that's why we make them stand out a little bit more. All right, moving down the hall. Let's get some lights on here. Guess what room that is? We'll get there in just a minute. So we have some box turtles in here, and Danica, our permanent resident skunk, is in here. Let's see if we can find Danica. Danica! We do not cage our permanent resident skunks. They just don't do well in cages. So she has the whole room to herself. Are you in here today? Danica! I see some movement. There she is. Hi, baby girl. So Danica was just out roaming the whole kitchen area at the center a few minutes ago, but it's about to be another animal's turn. Where you going, babies? She's just gonna snuggle in my shirt. Now, hi, honey. I do want to point out that our education animals are treated much differently than our ones that are going to be released. So if this was a skunk that was on schedule to be released, I would not be interacting with her. I would not love on her. We would not even name them. Those animals do not need to form any bond with us whatsoever, but we can love on her. In fact, we should, because we need to keep her nice and social for when she visits schools and scouts and libraries. Okay, no, you were already out. You were already out today. Sorry. Here comes Danica. I'm a sucker. Okay, come on. Are y'all good with that? I'm making sure our safety door is closed all the way so she didn't go down those stairs. All right. See what our animals want at the center, our animals get. There she goes. I love skunks. And I cannot lie. All right, let's check out our bat room. So we do have a shower curtain here. It is not to prevent any possible viruses from getting to us. It is to prevent the bats from flying out. There are times in this room that the bats do have free flight. Our walls are textured, and they do have plenty of spots to hang and to hide out, really just all over the place. They can roost in here. So we have a couple in here that are our permanent residents. Those are the ones that go out for education programs. Then we have, let's see if we can open this up and see this guy. Then all the rest of them, in about 1 week, will go into an outdoor flight cage where they can practice sustained flight, get stronger, practice eating bugs, and then they'll be released. This is a silver-haired bat. They are my personal favorite. This is a tree-dwelling bat. These guys do not live in cave cavities. These guys live in trees. They're beautiful. Their fur is like a black color with silver tips on it. People pay a lot of money to get hairdos like that, and these guys just have it natural. Next week, we're doing a live program just on bats. So mark that on your calendar, 10 a.m. next Wednesday. Bats, B-A-T-S, bats. All right, yep, so all these guys, sometimes we lose track of the numbers. I think we have about 26 bats right now. 26 insectivore bats. So these guys get a room all to themselves. During the wintertime, we'll close the door and this room becomes much, much cooler, so they have a great temperaturized and humidity-controlled torpor or hibernacula. Oops. But right now I see, look, please leave door open. There's a lot of directions all over the center, and it's important that everybody reads them, because the difference between the door staying open and the door staying shut is about 15 degrees. So important little thing. And I'm not really gonna go in this room right now. This is our, guess what? Raccoon room. Party room. They get really, really noisy. Also, we don't really want a raccoon sitting next to a squirrel, because a raccoon is potentially a predatory animal to a squirrel. So that's just not very nice for us to do to either one of them. So they get the whole room to themselves. Right now, we have our Egyptian fruit bats in this room. So, big fancy name for it. Look, I'm going to show you what they actually are. We call them our Rausettas. It's easier to keep track of. Rausettas aegypticus. That's their Latin name. It's my little education piece so our team does not forget who they are. But they're in here. We have 6 of them in here. We have 2 in another spot that can't manipulate this cage very well. But this is a temporary cage before they go into an 18-foot long flight cage. Okay, so that's the upstairs of our center. Did you miss Major? No, you did not, Taylor. You did not miss Major. We're going to go visit him. I'm going to flip this around for a second. It's me again. Okay, so when I go down here, I'm slightly worried because we do not get very good reception on the lower floor. So if for some reason it cuts out, just bear with me. I'll either jump back on Facebook or it might go blank for a second and come back on. So I don't know what it's going to do. We'll just see, but Major is down at this lower level. So let me flip this back around. Oh, Jennifer, I love that you love bats. I'm just seeing this, that post on there. So in here we have our flying squirrel. She is primarily nocturnal. You never know where she's gonna be. She moves from one purse to a banana. She normally likes the purses. She has a little strawberry she could get in. Right now she has a little, it's a baby slipper. And she, whoops, where is the baby slipper? I can see it, you all can't see it. Ah, there it is. So it's a little unicorn baby slipper. I thought she would like to go in, but she's really just storing nuts in there. They're big time hoarders. I think she's in here because she's built a nest. She has a bunch of newspaper in there right now. All right, let's see who else we have. The laundry room. If any adults are wondering, look, we're still looking for one last sponsor for our rooms in here. The people that have sponsored the other rooms, let's see one's in here. It's our bathroom. This is where we give our babies baths when they need them. And here is the sponsor for our bathroom in here. All the rooms in here have sponsors at the laundry rooms. Let me get some lights on here. Here's Ray, little Ray. Is it Ray's dinner time? Look at this. Sarah, let me look how you look like the best waitress ever. Look at this. This is how we roll. That's funny. So we're gonna actually wake Ray up to get his breakfast because he'll sleep right through it. Kind of like me some days. Ray. So Ray's having chicken and tiny vegetables in here. He loves the chicken. We have to cut it up really small for him so he eats it good. Good morning, Ray. Ray wants to eat in bed today. I think Ray wants to eat from bed. Breakfast in bed for Ray. Ray does have some neurological damage. That's why his head is moving so much. We love Ray. What you give Ray? I think he's gonna pick out all the chicken first. Sweet baby Ray. Okay, Ray. So even though Ray and the other animals that you are seeing, right now, by the way, we are in our education room. So none of these animals in here will ever be released. Oh, there's a big yawn from Blackjack. These guys are in cages now, but they all have an opportunity to get out multiple times a day, and they go upstairs and downstairs and get their exercise. Sometimes the opossums hop on this wheel and they have places to go. They just walk and walk. Sometimes in the wild, opossums will walk 2 miles each night just to find some food. And guess what a food is, you all? Let me see some answers. What are possums eating that we don't like? Cindy should know. I see her comment says possums are amazing. Opossums are eating rotten fruit, dead animals we don't want around, therefore preventing disease. They eat roaches. Blah. They eat mice, keep the mice population down. But the most important thing they eat are ticks. They eat thousands and thousands of ticks each night. This is Dave. Dave does not have a tail. That's why we had to keep him. This is George. George has some nasal cavity deformities. He does not smell very well at all. One of the cutest opossums I've seen in my life. Oh, I'm sorry. It's coming. Hello. Hi, George. Where's George at breakfast? George wants his breakfast. He likes some Lucky Charms. You want some Lucky Charms for breakfast? We would not give Lucky Charms, just saying. I would like Lucky Charms. All right, so what's Major having for breakfast? Major's having kale and rodent chow. Sometimes he likes little slices of pepper. Here's Major. Major, what you having for breakfast, baby? Major's our groundhog. Major was bulldozed over due to a new housing development going up. His siblings were released, but Major has a very, very important job of educating people on living humanely with animals. Don't want a groundhog getting in your garden? Build a fence. Major just could care less about me. Okay, let's see what Blackjack's doing over here. Blackjack is one of our oldest education residents. He came in 2011. Hey, baby, did you get some breakfast too? Most raccoons are not this laid back. No, they are not. Say that. They are not. Look at those big whiskers. Blackjack's not very food motivated. He likes his dog food, thankfully. Every day he gets glucosamine. Sometimes he dips that in water and soaks it around. Sometimes he plays with it, but thankfully you do end up eating it, don't you, buddy? Somebody fed this guy cow milk. Remember we were talking about animals not being able to digest cow milk like us? Somebody thought this baby raccoon was so cute, so adorable. I'll just take it in and take care of it for a while. They bottle fed it cow milk, and guess what? That ruined his chances of surviving or even being able to have a second chance at life in the wild. Ah, sweet. Look at little Blackjack, big Blackjack. He is not a small raccoon. Anyway, he ended up getting something called metabolic bone disease, which is a severe and potentially fatal calcium deficiency. And that was just because somebody thought he was cute and they were going to feed him cow milk. So that's how we ended up having to keep Blackjack. He was just dumped off in a Tupperware box at Louisville Nature Center. And thankfully they were on top of things and they brought him to us. Laundry room sponsor. Look, here is our woohoo and thanks to you board. So it's very important that we keep our team motivated. We look out for each other. If somebody is doing a good job at something, or maybe they even just got a promotion at work, we're gonna fill out this woohoo sheet and post it on here. Let's see, here is a note from me, just acknowledging how awesome the team is here, but we write them to each other if we want to write a special thank you to somebody. So I really like this board. Let's see, where is it? My favorite one. Oh my gosh. Somebody's in trouble here at the center. They are not getting a woohoo thing. My daughter left me a surprise note before she left for college. I was going to keep it on here forever, and somebody took it off. Oh. That makes me so sad. Okay, she's gonna have to come back and write me another one. And then I'll pretend it's a surprise. Oh, that almost makes me wanna cry. Okay, moving along. These cages are not supposed to be in this room. Next time I should measure before I go get some cages, but drove 280 miles with a fellow volunteer. And these things are perfect for toddler skunks before they go outside. Again, because there's no bars for them to put their little tiny feet in. We only have one set of double doors right here, so they fit through these doors, and now they're stuck. So for a year, I've been saying that we're gonna build a cover over our deck, but we haven't found anyone to help us do that. So if you happen to be a carpenter or might be willing to help us build a cover, we have a huge cage out there not being able to be used because it just rains on it and it gets disgusting. And we can't put these upstairs until there's a cover on it anyway, either. So this room is where people will drop off the animals, scheduled, of course. We really discourage people from just bringing an animal here and dropping it off without us knowing. There's a lot of arrangements that need to be made that maybe people don't think of in advance. But so if an animal comes in that has fleas or some type of airborne disease, these guys are isolated from the rest of our healthy animals. Although here lately we've been doing our intakes outside, so we don't even have to have anybody coming in the building. This is our quarantine room here. We also keep some extra medical supplies in this room. Right now, this is where LT, the groundhog I introduced you to, this is where he was. But we had to bump him because of this little cutie that came in. You ate all your breakfast, didn't you? Hopefully another fox will come in so this guy won't be just a little single fox. I was just doing another video earlier. Oh, big stretch, big stretch. This situation makes me kind of sad too. Not quite as sad as someone removing my daughter's note to me, but this guy was trapped. So here's the story. A family moved from the city out into the country. Once they got to the country, they decided, wait a minute, this is the country, not the city. So they're threatening to kill these foxes that live on their 150-acre farm. Like, why can you not share just a few acres with your fox? Because they're actually great to have around. They're going to keep your mice and a rodent population down. A staple here in Kentucky, they'd be eating your bunnies, mice, rats around here. So foxes are great to have around. Those little mice and rats, they can carry a lot of diseases for us. So foxes can help keep us healthy. So he was trapped by the good neighbor that's trying to at least save their lives, but he was trapped and therefore lost his mom, lost his siblings. So hopefully we can find him at least another buddy to go in with, or if they happen to trap another one, I would love to be able to reconnect the whole family together. It's just a sad situation. 150 acres and they can't share it. Guys, sure enough, if you have a yard, even if it's a small yard, guess what? You're going to have wildlife. Sure enough, if you go to the beach, you're going to get sand in your shorts. If you have grass in your yard, you're going to have wildlife. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to shut that so hard. Sorry. All right, we're going to move outside right now. Here's a project waiting to happen. This is material for our indoor Rosetta Egypticus. What are those, guys? Egyptian fruit bats. Those will be material to make that cage. So outside here, we have a designated area just for our education ambassadors. Here's Rawlings. Rawlings needs some new sod in half of his cage because he just dug it all up. So that's on the list of things to do. Hey, buddy. I brought you no treats today. Hey, Rawlings. One of Rawlings' eyes do not dilate. He came in with a lot of trauma. I think he was attacked by a dog. His eye was just completely slashed. Oh my goodness. What's going on? His canines were all broke. He had seizures for quite a while. Might jump again. So foxes are very, very pretty. Do you think foxes make good pets? They absolutely do not. Do not. Oh, that's a big stretch. They scent mark, their urine stinks. It kind of resembles the smell of skunks. It's very, very potent. They're gonna pee where they wanna pee. They might even pee in their food or water dishes just to let you know that it's their food and water dishes. They destroy everything. They are so smart. See, look, this could be your kitchen rug that he would just destroy. What'd you get? We do have to constantly give him new toys. We do. Hey, Rawlings. Sometimes we give him cardboard boxes to get in. His all-time favorite toy has been my old running shoe, though. That's about had it. He's full of energy today. When he was having seizures, he was recuperating for that, and again, so I could have 24/7 observation on him. He was in my sunroom. I had to replace the blinds and the carpet since he just kept peeing on the rug, ruined the blinds. Not a good pet. Just watch them from afar. Not a good pet. All right. We have a double gate entry here because they're faster and smarter than we are, so we need to make sure that he does not get out. Whoops, ran into the wall. Let's see if I can zoom in. Hey, I can zoom in. There's Juan Carlos. He loves his house. Probably not gonna come out because there's a heater in the house. Juan Carlos. We tried to have Juan Carlos inside. Juan Carlos is a parvo survivor. We weren't even sure he was gonna make it. He was on fluids around the clock for a while, refused baby bottle, refused any bribery food. Then he got really, really cranky, letting us do the fluids. Are you gonna come out? But then he finally started licking a little bit of yogurt from a syringe, and that was his turning point. My running shoes smells like the trails in Louisville, probably. Anyway, we tried to keep him inside, and that was just not going to happen. He was fine with people getting him out of the cage to have time out of the center, running amok, but then he did not want to go back in, and it was just bad. He ripped drywall. He was ripping arms, I'll be honest with you. Raccoons are wild animals. They're not dogs, and they're not cats. I was called multiple times from team members saying that they could not put Juan Carlos in. Please come to our rescue. So, and he didn't love when I put him in either. I wasn't the magic solution there. So anyway, we built this entire cage just for him. He loves it. Much, much better suited for outside than inside. I'm still on Zoom, aren't I? I don't know if I am or not. And Juan Carlos cannot be released because he is way off balance. We were really, really hoping that he would be able to be released, but he just did not make the cut. I am on Zoom. I can't get off Zoom. Oh, everything's going to be close up now, including the weeds. There's a leaf. Okay, let me see if I can fix this. I don't know why I can't seem to get off Zoom. Okay, let's try again. I did it. This is my greatest accomplishment of the morning. So somebody donated a bunch of bamboo, and we got creative. Arnie might come here. He's our armadillo. He might come here when the weather is warm enough. Of course, it's not really conducive for him to come today because it's way too cold. And you all, I should have thought to bring a lock. All of our animals out here are under padlock, but I'll at least show you where JB lives. Let's see, we're gonna see this a little bit better. Maybe I'll just go get the key here in just a minute. Oh yes, Penny, I love Penny. Offering some help with our enclosure. Let's see, I'm gonna put my hand in here. There we go, guys. Okay, so here's JB's enclosure. So he has a 2-tier waterfall and a deeper pond area over there. We also have some goldfish to keep him company. Where's JB? JB is in his house, which also has a heater. It has 2 heaters. It has a heater on the bottom of his tray, and it has a heater at the very top. And I see that he's sound asleep in his bed right now. Okay, let me get this back. All right, so we're gonna walk down the hill. This is our education building over here. It's really nice. So if school classes want to come for an education program, Scouts are here a lot, both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We had Down Center of Louisville come in here. While we still could get out of the house. I guess that was about 2 months ago. If you're interested in scheduling an education program, just email us. We're happy to set that up. So this is a different section of our outdoor enclosures. These outdoor enclosures are pre-release enclosures. We still do have a little bit of work to do on them. We always have a lot of work. We love what we do, but it's a lot of work. Mostly we have skunks in this one here. This is one of our raccoon enclosures. There's a skunk, and a possum. Look, there's a space to build another opossum enclosure, also something that is on our radar to do. And then we have some squirrel enclosures over here. Somebody just asked, who is JB? JB is our education beaver. It's short for Justin Beaver. So in this middle section here, we would like to build a hexagon, very large hexagon enclosure with something in the middle that it's kind of a donut, if you will. So our raccoons will be able to run and have plenty of space in there. So that is also on our agenda. let's see, let me go this way. This is, we look very junky here, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I accidentally showed you this pile. This was, you know what? I think this was an Eagle Scout project, and before it was put together, the Eagle Scout moved to California. We couldn't figure out how to put it together, but whatever wood is still salvageable, we will definitely try to get that up and running because we're always short on outdoor enclosures. This is our bat flight cage here. The only things we have left to do for that is put that sheet of plywood on the sides and paint it, and then we'll be getting our bats in there. There's a concrete slab on the bottom with rubber mats over it. The rubber is much smaller for bats in flight school, right? If they have a crash landing, we would rather them land on soft rubber than hard concrete. So the squares are small enough the bats cannot get out, but bugs can get in. So not only can they practice sustained flight, but also practicing catching their food. Okay, that's it. That's our tour. What do you all think? Any questions? Next week, we are having a program just on bats. And I did want to let you guys know about a couple different things. Again, I've said this twice already, but we are licensed to do this. If you find an injured and orphaned wildlife animal, please contact a licensed rehabilitator. It does not necessarily have to be us, but it should be someone that is licensed and trained to do this, that have the correct knowledge to do it, aren't introducing squirrels to dogs because it's cute. Those are predatory animals. The other thing is, I'm a runner and I just went up the hill, I'm out of breath. Okay. So summer camp, we have a summer camp program here. So if any kids are watching today and you're between the ages of 8 to 12, let your parents know that we have a summer camp. I would guess that we still would be running it because it's not until the last week of July. We have time to get nice and healthy, and then we will offer that camp. It's a very, very fun week. It's a day camp. It's from 9 to 3. Information and registration is on our website. I don't even need to run. I'm going running after this. Maybe I don't even need to. Hey, Mark. Thank you for being here. I'm just doing a live video. I'll come right back out. We're getting a little carport made for our mower today. We had a mower that was donated. Very generous mower. Very generous donor. But a very fun mower. It's fun to drive. So fun that I get sunburned because I get carried away on it. Check out our website. We have a page just for kids. It's Kids Corner. We also have a page with really fun wildlife trivia. And again, next week we'll be on here to do a live bat program. Any questions before we go? I'm going to go back in and help feed the animals. Actually, you know what? We can walk in really quick. I forgot I asked my team. Oops, I'm locked out. I'm in. They let me in. This is so great. All right, so we're gonna go back up and see if they happen to be feeding our baby raccoons or feeding our possums. And if not, then we'll catch it another time. But if so, they're pretty cute to see when they're eating. Does anyone live at the center with the animals? Sometimes. But we are here around the clock. We constantly are rotating shifts. So by the time one person is leaving, someone has already arrived to do another shift. So they're very well supervised. Oh, it's a bunny that's eating. Let me turn it around. If you happen to discover bunnies in your yard, maybe your dog discovers them, or maybe your lawnmower discovers them, as long as they're not injured, please just put them back into the enclosure where their enclosure. Put them back in the burrow. Please put them back in there, bury them back up, and pretend you never saw them. They will not be in your yard very long. They leave their moms just 10 days after their eyes open. So it might kind of be a pain for you to take your dog out front for the time being or keep your pets inside, but it will give the bunnies a chance for them to survive on their own without having to take up space in any rehab setting from animals that actually do need it. So Thank you guys for watching. Have you ever seen any armadillos? Yes, we do have Arnie the armadillo, and we had an armadillo come in from Russellville, Kentucky. Any monkeys? No, we do not rehab monkeys because they are not native to Kentucky. If they were, we would absolutely help them. Have you ever got birds in before? Yes, we have. Every once in a while, we do get birds in. Not very often, though. Most of our expertise, all of our equipment, all of our caging is designed for mammals. Well, thank you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, and please make sure you get out and enjoy the day. 6 feet apart. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.